another one of the Oregon helplines. You guys got to hear me calling 988. You got to hear me calling suicide hotline, suicide lifeline, and of course, this Oregon shit site isn't doing any better. Those without money have no rights, and doctors treat anybody without money like they're a fucking junkie. It's not just homeless people. It's because they make money off of this shit, assholes. Do you ever wonder why it is that you need help and they won't help you, but they'll help that fucking junkie who fucking ripped you off and raped your sister? The reason is because that junkie will get them an extra $15,000 a year. The amount of money that we spend for quote-unquote mentally ill people to get treatment when they're abused. That's right, treatment. We get abused and you want to send us to treatment. Oh, you mean like the treatment that you give to pedophiles, right? No! No! That's not treatment. If that helped, then these pedophiles wouldn't still be out here touching kids. CPS doesn't care. They will literally lie to you about what the law is and send you to others. So this Oregon helpline that you're supposed to call, nobody is happy with them. Nobody is typing the "oh, thank you for your service" bullshit at them. Do you know why? Well, because just like the situation I'm dealing with now, none of these people are fucking trained. They quit before their training is complete. They realize that they have no fucking clue what they're doing, and neither does their goddamn boss. I'm going to about my problems. Many of them were complete strangers who promised to help or pretended to care. If I disappeared today, how many of you would go searching for my body? None of you. Living or dead, my body doesn't matter. I'm not the right gender, not the right color. I don't have the right profession. Oh. Gross. Then, of course, I get a spam call from Virginia. I shouldn't call from numbers that I already have saved. If you're gonna fucking spam me, well, maybe you just shouldn't. Maybe you should just leave me the fuck alone. Maybe you should try doing what it is you tell me to do. You tell me to mind my own business when it is my business. But you want to tell me how to think and feel. How I think and feel is none of your business. Oy. question.
What's that?
I got $1.12 on my card. It's not the EBT one, it's the debit one. And I have 80 something cents in change. Am I able to buy a coffee by putting them together?
Yep.
All right, cool. That's what I'm gonna do. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'm sorry for walking in this morning without my wallet. That was it. Good morning. Morning, Scott.
Good morning. How we doing?
Well, I'm doing great now that I noticed you just pampered up the Sean pampering machine. You should probably go ahead of me. I got a habit of running my mouth too much.
Okay. That's it.
All right. You know things are bad when you go to your caseworker about crimes that are committed against you and she starts telling you about the custody of her grandkids. Alright, I'd like to purchase one of these. It's gonna have to be done in 2 parts because I have change and I also have a credit card, debit card. So I don't know which one to use first. Probably use the silver first. $35. Ah, merci beaucoup. Grazie. Do I have to?
Yes, you have to.
Alright. Yes, Miss Jen. I'll remember when I come in here, I need to purchase stuff that I actually want or need.
Yeah.
No, actually, I hate coffee. I hate the flavor of coffee. I love creamer. I love sugar. But this gives me an opportunity to come in and pretend to be human for a bit
There you go.
and pick on the boss. I don't have
She's
the,
focused now.
I don't have the fortitude to do that either. She's scary. She's got a position of power. She can say, "Hey, man, you're 86. You gotta go."
Yeah. Yeah. She does have that power.
So, right, butter them biscuits. Thank you, Miss Jenna. Oh my God, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Last Dance with Mary Jane. I love this song. Sorry. I'm gonna blame Scott because he's outside and can't defend himself. Oh my. Oh no, yes. Put on that cardigan. Oh my God, I wish I would remember the rest of that song. Yeah. Last dance, Mary Jane. One more time to kill the pain. I feel summer creeping in, and I'm tired of this town again. Whoa. Well, don't you know that's the sound of the men working on a chain gang? Whoa, don't you know that's the sound of the men working on a chain gang? Now let me hear you say, ooh, ah, 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 ooh, ah, 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 ooh, ah, ah, ah. Oh. I wish I could remember who sings that. Is it, now I gotta look it up. In the 1980s, when you needed help, you could go to your classmates and get help. Y'all got two different sets of rules, don't you? When something happens to you, you want to turn it in right away. When something happens to somebody else, you want to change the rules, don't you? Snitches get stitches, right? How dare you? How dare you? Obviously, I've got a lot of things I am capable of doing. Very capable of doing. There's also things that I'm not. And understanding what I'm capable of and what I'm not is only a very small beginning. If I'm not able to do something, that doesn't mean that it doesn't need done. It doesn't mean that I don't want to do it. It doesn't mean that I'm not trying. There's a lot of people that post up on their Facebook only about the fun times. It's all they ever post up. They want to sell an illusion of a world world that doesn't exist. This is something I do to try to improve my manual dexterity and get myself back to condition where I can draw. This is a chopstick. It sits around in my car until it gets dirty, and then I sand it until it's clean again. So that it looks like that, as opposed to looking like that. This is 100 grit sandpaper, so it's not even great sandpaper. But it's something. Doing something is always better than doing jack shit, right? Unless you're lost. Sometimes when you're lost, the best thing you can do is stay put. Depends on the situation, though. That guy in Wyoming was at a campsite that was flown over multiple times. He was there almost 30 days past when he first saw a rescue airplane. A lot of us don't matter to you. That doesn't mean you don't matter to us. Scott, is there any way I can talk you out of one of them? Now that just shows what a dick I am. He's having a cigarette break, which doesn't get to happen often. Because as soon as he does, somebody pulls up. And then there's me hitting him up for a cancer.
You light or you got one?
That I do have.
Okay.
It's not every day I stop in the middle of a YouTube recording to harass people, but
What's that?
I said it's not every day that I interrupt the middle of a YouTube recording to harass people, but I was like, all right, cancer, I better ask. I was rolling them. I went and got myself some rolling papers. Thank goodness tomorrow's payday.
All right. Gotcha.
And one of the things that we've been looking at real heavy recently, the 911 suicide, or the 988 suicide hotline, the other suicide hotline, the 800 number suicide hotline, and then the Oregon Connect line. All of these services, as you can see, there's advertisements all over Facebook about these things. And then you get to see the comments of the people in it. The people who are typing, hey, you know what? I sent my brother to you and he killed himself. It doesn't feel good, does it? But then, listening to the recordings that I've posted up, it's pretty obvious why. We call these 988 helplines, and what do? They blow us off. They make us feel like we don't matter. That's what pushes people to suicide. You treating them like they don't matter. Telling them how to think and how to feel. Tell them if they just ignore it, then it'll go away. Ask any survivor of long-term abuse how much ignoring the abuse makes it stop. For many of us, we're told, when we have problems with our predators, we're told, oh, well, he was probably just drunk. Oh, dude, she was probably just strung out. That may be the case. It very well may be. However, that means that they need treatment, not us. These alcoholics who are doing these things, over half of all murderers were drinking when they killed somebody. Over half of the victims of murder were drunk when they were killed. We're told that alcoholism is no excuse, but then we make that excuse immediately when someone does something wrong to us. Oh, he was probably just drunk. So if you get beaten up by somebody because they was probably just drunk, does that make it okay? See, we have to spend our entire lives forgiving addicts because you will make the excuse of, oh, well, poor them, they're just addicts. No, 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 no. When you're raped by somebody who's strung out on meth, keep in mind, it's not your fault they raped you. It's not your fault they're on meth. For someone to blow off the crimes that are committed, that allows the predator an understanding of two things. Number one, nobody cares if they hurt you. Number two, nobody cares if they're on drugs. Nobody actually cares. People will make excuses for you, like they did for Robert Franklin Mornick. Oh, he was probably just drunk. I don't give a fuck if he was drunk or not. He threatened to kill me. I chose to let him live. It was the wrong choice to make. Isn't that right? How many of y'all tell me, oh, well, the only good pedophile is a dead pedophile? How many of y'all say that? Now, I wholeheartedly agree with that, but I also wholeheartedly believe that anyone who would make a false report about such a thing, or to go spreading rumors about such a thing when it's not true, those people should be subject to the same repercussions. And I don't mean the possibility of the same repercussions. Because see, if you're in trouble for sexually assaulting somebody that you didn't sexually assault, and you could potentially spend anywhere from 2 years to the rest of your life in prison, it shouldn't be the lenient sentence that you get for accusing somebody of that. It should be the harshest sentence possible. Now, I've seen many times where a woman didn't get what she wanted and tried to accuse men of being perverts because she didn't get what she wanted. One of those cases is Lexi Delgado, who went by Cardboard. What a street name. Cardboard. Ugh. Her severe mental problems and Ogre, that's Christopher Weaver's real name, his anger problems, they clashed. They did not get along. Not even close. But she got horny and he got horny, so there's that. When it comes to being predatory between the two of them, she was highly predatory. He was not. When it came to protection orders, most of the women that I know walk right through those if a man is lucky enough to be able to get one. Lucky enough to get a police officer who's not just going to go, oh, dude, you got a dick. Deal with it yourself. With all the people killing themselves in Oregon right now after calling 988 helpline. Just so you know, it's not just here in Oregon. This is nationwide. They've got 11 different nationwide services for suicide, all of them doing the same exact thing, trying to push you to commit suicide. That's all they do. When it comes to what therapy, believe is right for us versus what the government makes therapists who accept their money do, these do not line up. The government requires therapists to commit felonious acts. Goddamn right I speak up. For a lot of these folks, they talk about how they don't have time, and then they talk about how much their lives suck. They don't have time for this, they don't have time for that. You got plenty of time, you're just not working together with the right people. You've got the AA mentality, the mentality of you as an alcoholic are the victim. Anybody that you wronged needs to forgive you instantaneously while you get to hold a grudge forever. Boy, oh boy, are you smart. That is such intelligent thinking. Then there's the severely mentally ill.
Yeah.
Who are these people? Well, these are the violent assholes who are usually strung out on drugs that you leave out here to commit crimes. You just roll them through. You know what a roll through is. It's that little girl who, at 13 years of age, she developed a little bit faster than the other people in her class. So Dad started looking at her as a sexual object and couldn't keep his hands to himself. That didn't start her on cutting herself or committing suicide. That started her on a course of being treated as if she has done something shameful because she was raped by her daddy, molested by her daddy. Or she goes to her mom and tries to get help, or goes to a sibling and tries to get help, and she's blown off. You get to see how I know the law better than all these people doing these jobs. Or they're playing stupid. Which is it? We don't have time for the training videos. We need you to have on-the-job training. No. That is dirty. That is dirty. Stop killing us. Of course, we know how well asking our predators to stop actually works in real life. It doesn't. Going to our friends and family in real life, whether or not they help you is dependent upon whether or not you are popular or attractive in your family. Even our own families help to protect our predators. It's more shameful, isn't it? It's a more shameful thing to do to protect the predators, but it's also a more shameful thing to have a predator within your family than it is to have somebody who has been victimized within your family. So you try to hide the predator. Either, oh, he wouldn't do a thing like that, or, oh, he was probably just drunk. You know he's having problems with recovery, you just gotta be patient with him. You know she's having problems with recovery, you just gotta be patient with her. Have you tried giving it to God? When, in the history of ever, has Jesus come down from the heavens to represent somebody in court? When, in human history, has Jesus ever done such a thing? We got one story about the resurrection, and he did not come back to dispel myths or rumors about his death. But he hasn't come back since. When's the last time that he represented somebody in court? When's the last time that Jesus was an attorney in a civil or criminal court case? And let's take a look at nasty pieces of shit like Rod Wright. When you show that you're just as biased as everyone else, that your Jesus is as fake as you are, well, I don't have to believe your bullshit. I'm not required by law to believe your bullshit, and I'm not going to believe your bullshit. Stop sending this to others. I have literally thousands of referrals. No actual help. That's called passing the buck, and every government agency does this unless you have a friend or family member who cares. It's not my fault I have been victimized. It's not my fault that I'm autistic. It's not my fault that a lot of things happened. But I'm expected to take the blame. That's dumb. Not just in my personal opinion. This probably won't stay charged, but we'll see what we can do. I'm going to go back over to where I was earlier. These mental health peoples, they know how to talk in circles. Everybody does. Y'all know how to talk in circles. And you do it especially over at-risk adults. And then you say, oh, we're talking in circles. No, you're talking in circles. You keep interrupting the victim so you don't hear any details. That's on you. When you want to keep changing the subject, that's on you. When you're paid to protect at-risk adults from criminals who are taking advantage of them and the American people by, well, wasting tax dollars. We got 11 different suicide hotlines nationwide, all of them doing the same thing, victimizing the victim. When you're bullied until you want your life to end. You didn't want your life to end over the bullies. Nobody commits suicide over bullies. Nobody ever commits suicide over bullies. Ever. It is not bullies that push us to suicide. It is what our friends and families do when we go to them for help that pushes us to suicide. Their neglect. They're constantly making it about them, making it a pissing contest. You are not going to help somebody by making it a fucking pissing contest. Also, if you have kids and you're going to bitch at somebody about how they're irresponsible, and you are responsible because you have kids. No, you would not have kids if you were responsible. Most of the kids of my generation, and the generation before me, and the generation before that, as well as every generation since. The majority of us who are born into this world, into this country, were conceived while one or both of our parents were under the influence of drugs or alcohol because they're responsible. They didn't use their brains because they were on drugs and alcohol, and as a result did not use contraceptives. But of course, that's not their fault. They're responsible parents. No, none of you are fucking responsible. None of you want to be held responsible for your actions, and we have taught women that every bad choice they make is a man's fault. So we're expected to give women a whole bunch of free shit that they're not doing anything for. We're expected to take care of their kids that, really, what did we do? Was I the one that busted a nut? No. Was I the one that didn't use a contraceptive? No. So why are we, who didn't do these things, paying for these people? Because we feel bad for the kids, right? Isn't that it? No, that's just the excuse. In reality, you don't care about the kids. You don't care about human trafficking. One city alone, just one city, in 2022, the city of San Diego claimed that there were over 30,000 people human trafficked through San Diego alone. That's just San Diego. That's just San Diego. When you want to treat those of us out here like we don't know shit, keep in mind we are the most likely people to be victimized. The homeless are the most likely to be murdered by police. The homeless are the most likely victims of rape. The homeless are the most likely victims of serial killers. That's right, the homeless. Meanwhile, when police murder us, you pretend it's our fault. When police beat Thomas Kelly to death and got away with it because he was schizophrenic, what you're showing loud and clear is that we're not human beings to you. We're your punching bags. Calling somebody mentally ill is a death sentence, and you know it. If you have family or friends that are called mentally ill and they came to you for help, and then they fucking died, it is 100% your fault that they fucking died. Because you pushed them to suicide. You did it to them. You chose this.